All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into who's who and what's new. Just going to remind you real quick, like we do every week, we have not pre-talked about these headlines. I go out,
Nope.
I grab what's trending, I grab what
Yep.
interests me the most. I do a
Yep.
little bit of research on the back end, and then I
Nope.
throw them up here so that he can react to them in real time along
Yep.
with you. Are you ready?
Yep. I am ready.
All right, here we go. All right, so this week is going to be just a little bit different than weeks in the past where I try to grab like as many headlines as I can. This week is kind of like one big story, and I want to take you guys through that story from beginning to end. This story actually started last Friday, and that's very important, so keep that in your mind as we go into it. All right, here we go. All right, on Friday of last week, New Mexico governor shocks with comment about Constitution after issuing a temporary gun ban.
Oh, this
She
chick.
said, not absolute. All right, so just a little bit, and then I'm going to play you this video clip
Yep.
of what she said. All right, so just a little bit of context to it. The governor of New Mexico put a ban in place for the county that surrounds Albuquerque. I think it's Belladino or something like that. Don't quote me on that.
I didn't
Any,
catch.
any
Yeah,
of you
I didn't
guys
catch
there
the
from
name.
New Mexico, light me up in the comments and tell me how stupid I am for not knowing that. But
And
anyway,
give
so
us the right county with
yeah,
the
and let
right
us know.
spelling.
Fix me. All right. So anyway, so it's for that county in and around that area. She said, for the next 30 days, she declared a quote public health crisis. All right, very important. She
Right, which is
declared an
what we
emergency.
talked about to try to understand what a safety issue has to do with a health crisis.
Right. I think going back to a text conversation you and I had, didn't you say like, isn't the health crisis like after you use the gun?
Use the gun? Yeah, then it becomes a health crisis. Before that, it's a safety crisis.
So anyway, she declares a public health crisis. This is in response to an 11-year-old girl being shot in what officials are calling a road rage incident. Very sad story. So the governor declares a public health crisis and puts a 30-day ban in place of exercising the right to carry weapons, whether open carry or concealed carry,
Yes.
in and around Albuquerque. Now, just one more piece of information for your essay, your situational awareness. Sorry, don't mean to Army speak there. Is that New Mexico is a what's called shall issue state. So you have may issue states, shall issue states, and then constitutional carry state. Constitutional carry, hey, it's your Second Amendment right. You can carry. You can hide it and carry it. You can open carry it. You can walk down the street with it in your hand, right? You can exercise your right. Shall issue states means you have to have a permit issued to you by the state. But as long as you fill out the paperwork and turn it into the state is not allowed to, unless you are a felon or convicted of a crime or something like that, the state is not allowed to deny you the ability to carry. It shall issue you the right to carry. And then there's a couple of states, there's a handful of states out there, New York, California, I believe Hawaii, stuff like states like that, super blue states where there may issue states, and you fill out the paperwork to have a license to carry, and then they
there's Wisconsin.
may issue.
We are constitutional.
Daggone right. On the right side of that law, as far as I am concerned. All right. So anyway, I am a Second Amendment absolutist, guys. So she basically said for the next 30 days in and around Albuquerque, I don't care that you have a permit to carry. We're banning it. You're not allowed to have it. All right. So that
I think you almost quoted her right there. I don't care. I thought she said it that way.
So what I'm getting ready to play for you guys is a video of her at a press conference where she's being pressed on the constitutionality of this order. Now, remember back to what I was saying in the beginning, she issued the ban on a Friday, heading into the weekend where all the government offices were going to be shut down, no business was going to be conducted. So now this is Friday afternoon, September the 8th. Yep. Friday afternoon, right after she issues it. Boom, and then we slide into the weekend where nobody can do anything about it. So it's in place for 2 days, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday before anything else happens. So just keep
I think you're trying to say government offices were closed. Is that what you're getting at?
But I'm just saying, keep that timeline in your mind. So anyway, here we are. This is a video of her answering questions at that press conference for you.
But your point is valid.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms. In this emergency, this 11-year-old and all these parents who have lost all these children, they deserve my attention to have the debate about whether or not in an emergency we can create a safer environment. Because what about their constitutional rights? I took an oath to uphold those too. And if we ignore this growing problem without being bold, I've said to every other New Mexican, your rights are subrogated to theirs. And they are not, in my.
All right, so there's a couple things that she said there that I want to highlight that just like.
Just a couple?
Well, there's a couple that I want to highlight. All right.
All right,
The first being that she says, no right, including my oath, she says, to the Constitution is meant to be absolute. Just like I'm going to let that steep.
Well, lots of
For a
people
second.
forget what the concept of a constitution is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it starts. Constitution means here's the bedrock we all stand on.
Right.
Then we build from it. That's the
Right.
Constitution. So constitutions are absolute.
Well, and I just want to point out too that yes, they are absolute. In fact,
They are absolute.
I want to build on what you said because the founding fathers actually used language that was even stronger than absolute. What they said was unalienable, right? These rights are unalienable and that they are
Right.
endowed by your creator. What they
Creator.
were saying is these rights are given to you by God by virtue of being a human being made in the image of God. You have these rights, and that really big word that makes you sound smart, it's a $2 word, unalienable, right? Unable to be alienated, alienable, not able to be removed from you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's even stronger language than absolute.
Well,
is what the founding
how
fathers
dare
were saying.
you invoke God into our Constitution, which, by the way, this isn't the unalienable rights. Anyway, is I don't believe that's the Constitution you're quoting there. Am I right?
Right, correct.
Yeah,
That correct.
yeah.
I was quoting the Declaration of Independence. But-
okay, but still, it is part of the basis document. And then to take that another step further, you not only did you invoke God, but you trying to declare a higher power on us, and there's nothing higher than a man's will and decision.
Right.
Moving right along.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let that one fall and land with a dull thud. All right. So anyway,
Like poisoning pigeons in the park.
Remember the timeline. That was Friday afternoon. So Saturday, Sunday, this thing languishes. It pretty much sprouts legs, takes on a life of its own, and goes running off as all of those just barrel-chested, gun-toting, freedom-fighting, red-blooded Americans were like, "What did you say that I can't do?" And you got
Three-quarters of New Mexico.
You got to love these people. They show up to Albuquerque and they decide to have an open carry parade through downtown Albuquerque. And then, so flash forward, now we have basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. You have this popping off. So first thing to happen, New Mexico sheriff. These next few are going to be in Reuters. From Reuters. New Mexico sheriff refuses to enforce the governor's gun ban. So this is the sheriff of, let's see how close I got it. What did I say earlier? It's Bernalillo. I'm going to say Bernalillo because double L's in Spanish, that makes a Y sound, right? Bernalillo. I know somebody's going to light me up about that. All right. So anyway, so that's that should be the county in and around where Albuquerque is located. The county sheriff came out and was basically, again, and this is after all of the media pushback started happening. You have basically the entire right-wing media started, came out in droves and was like, that's illegal. You have very famous, professional, popular people like David Hogg, survivor of the Parkland shooting, which people like to listen to for some reason.
He made that comment?
He was coming out and said that what she did was unconstitutional. You have a congressman from California. Ted Lieu comes out and is like, yeah, what the governor did was unconstitutional. She can't do it. And then finally into Wednesday, you have a U.S. judge freezes New Mexico governor's gun ban. A federal judge put a temporary stay on a temporary order and was like, yes, governor, that is completely illegal. You are not allowed to do that. I don't care that it's a public health crisis. Shot down. So this governor and now Republican lawmakers in the state of New Mexico are calling for her impeachment. I think that they should go further than that. I think that they should impeach her. I think that she, honestly, because of what she did was so illegal, that she should actually be arrested. I think that she should be tried. I know
That's
that
what an impeachment process is a trial. It's a
political trial, not a
intergovernmental trial, but yes,
yeah.
it is still a trial.
And I really do. And I hope, and I'm going to come out and say this very intentionally, I hope that those that are in the government that believe in constitutional law, believe in upholding the Constitution, and believe in big R God-given rights, as Dan Bongino likes to say, which is a great way to describe them, they need to make an example of this would-be treasonous governor, that you cannot just shred the Constitution on the basis of some modern day popular made up crisis, right? I understand that an 11-year-old girl died. It's very sad. But what you can't do is take one thing to justify you stealing the rights of law-abiding Americans on the other. And I feel very strongly that this governor needs to be made an example of. And at the very least, face the political persecution that comes with shredding the U.S. Constitution. She cannot be allowed to get away with this.
Are you aware that we had the same thing happen here in Wisconsin?
Nope.
Our governor went, and now it was a healthcare issue. It was over COVID, but he did a COVID mandate, and he did it based on an emergency powers given to him. This is the same thing she invoked. A lot of states have this clause that emergency powers that they can walk in and governors need to do. Because let's remember when the United States was not united so much as states with a federal government. And so each state having its own militia and all that kind of stuff. So we're going back that far, 1800s. And the point of this clause in their constitution is so that the governor could seize the militia, do the necessary things in order to protect that state. So that's what the clause is about. And they're using it in the form of health. Okay, so our governor did that. And it says in our Constitution that within a 30-day period, meet with the Congress and find the particular laws that are necessary in order to go on. So it gives him a 30-day period to do it. Our governor renewed it 4 times unconstitutionally. And our Supreme Court, even though it was taken to him in the second 30-day period, it took our state Supreme Court another 68 days in order to make a decision about it. Plus, they also, in the middle of that, when I say 68 days, they met, they argued, but they also took 2 weeks off so that they could think about the decision before they got their writing. That happened here in Wisconsin. 4 times he renewed it.
All right. Well,
and was allowed to do it. And so, everybody wants to complain about the Republicans or whatever. The Republicans took it to court. They used every method that is given to them. And you still had other parts of the government, because of agreeing with it, that would not step up to the plate and do their job.
Well, I think the stories like this are super important, guys, because if you don't stand up for your constitutional rights, like
you will
you will
them.
lose them. Somebody will
Yep.
come along to take them away. And so this week I wanted to highlight one big story and take you through the entirety of it versus a bunch of little stories. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't or you did, let us know in the comments so that we can continue to make this content for you guys. Hey, if you guys like this video, remember the reason that we exist is to encourage you by cutting through the propaganda so you can enjoy thinking for yourself again. Would you do us a favor? Show us a little support. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subbed up. And the algorithms, they don't like us, guys. They're not going to help us grow. The only way that we're going to grow is with your help. So please share the video with a friend. And I hope you're sticking around for the Keeping the Main Thing segment. We'll see you there.
See you there.